Welcome to the beam where curiosity meets conversations, taking us a step further into the future we desire. I'm Sunas Nathaniel, and today we delve into the dynamic intersections of issues, from gaming and the evolving landscape of opportunities for Nigerian youths. In a world where technology shapes our interactions and aspirations, these topics emerge as pivotal points of discussions, reflecting both the perils and the promises of the digital age. Firstly, gaming stands as not just a recreational activity anymore, but as a burgeoning industry with vast economic potentials. Nigerian youths, fueled by passion and skilled, are navigating this realm, exploring avenues for both personal growth and financial gain. Helping us to navigate this whole water of gaming and the potential for which it has for the Nigerian youth is none other than Ayeri Victor, who is known as Kamanda. Kamanda is a digital content expert, popularly known, in the scene for gaming. He's titled as the biggest gaming content creator in Nigeria, with multiple awards, both on the local and international scene. I will be shocked if it's not even in Africa. Kamanda, you're welcome.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here with you.
All right. Having looked at some of the things you have done, you moved all the way from the US, if I'm not mistaken, down back to Nigeria for a while, right?
Yes, I did.
And then the question is, you came here and you really wanted to just do content and you went into gaming.
Well, pretty much. It had to do with me changing schools. Something happened, so I had to change school. And at first, it was a huge letdown because America, Nigeria, we all know. But then I found opportunities to experience education, first of all, on a different level. I think kind of like the micro hardships that comes with schooling in Nigeria actually helped to shaping me into the man that I am today, firstly. And then content creating kind of like came as a result of me understanding that there's a possibility that I could change my already existing passion for gaming into something more fruitful and something that would probably leave a mark in history in Africa.
That's crazy to say because you were just very young and you were already thinking about the leaving a mark, the policy thing. So let me ask you now, how big is the gaming industry in Nigeria so far? We know in the West, in America and all the way, there's so many gamers everywhere.
Yeah.
How big is that gaming industry here today?
Well, currently, personally, I'd say it's getting pretty big. Let's not lie, it's kind of like started roughly 3 years ago. And it's at its baby stage. But then given the fact that it's moving at a breakneck pace, we're having, in just 2 to 3 years, we're having already established esports communities in Nigeria. The states in Nigeria, like Lagos, for instance, are already treating esports as an actual sport in Nigeria. So first of all, it's not only that it's getting big, though it's at its baby stage, but it's getting big quick. And then we have the passion that's moving with creativity. So like all that working interwoven with each other is giving gaming an avenue to thrive, really thrive, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa as a whole.
So for some people, they'll be asking, what are these esports centers you talk about, esports hubs? What do they really hold? Okay,
first of all, esports pretty much is professional gaming on a competitive level. Okay, so putting that into perspective, there are a lot of pretty much esports organizations already set up in Nigeria. The biggest being Gamer Africa, for instance, being the biggest gaming infrastructure in Nigeria and in Africa. And every year, pretty much, they have these events, okay, where they fly in different esports athletes from all around Africa. It's really big in Lagos, all around Africa. They call it Gamer X. And then we see young, aspiring gamers and esports athletes come and compete with each other for huge prize pools. Like, people are actually taking this as a very strong career path. And esports is not a joking matter. I think since 2020, on a global level, we're seeing esports, we're looking at the revenue generated from esports is bigger than the music and movie industry combined. This is what...
Say that again. That's huge. Say that again.
Okay. The gaming industry, okay, it's not just esports, gaming. The gaming industry is, its revenue every year is bigger than the movie and the music industry combined on a global level.
Wow.
That's how much gaming is, and it's no surprise. Like I said, that it's moving at a breakneck pace. It's something that a lot of people choose career paths for a lot of reasons, and if you're not able to make money off something you really love doing, then you would not work a day in your life. Pretty much that's it.
I feel you. So let's come again to that transition. You started off as a gamer. You made your mark as a gamer and all. In fact, let's start from there. Which of the games did you make your mark first as?
I made my mark first. There's this FPS mobile game called Call of Duty Mobile.
Oh, the Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Mobile. Yeah. Pretty much. I started off as being a competitive player. So I've been a competitive player, and it was going well. But I kind of figured out that there are ways I could actually make videos of these gameplays, and then not just make them, integrate a lot of creative ideas into them to make them such a mouth-watering and very pleasant sight to behold that even people who aren't game enthusiasts, they can watch it and kind of relate to it.
I feel you.
Even if it's not on a gaming level. So
so you're bringing in storytelling, those.
I have brought stuff from storytelling to the craziest things like Nigerian praise and worship. It's really crazy what you can do with video games. There are people who use Call of Duty Mobile, for instance. They use it to create dramas. Like actually they write scripts and they act these dramas with. And there are people who do different kinds of, should I call it trick shots with these games, impressive feats, people that play competitively, they stream this online and everything. So it's a whole community. And then speaking of like a whole community, in about 3 years, the gaming community, the Call of Duty Mobile gaming community alone on TikTok, for instance, the demographic, we're looking at 12,000 Nigerians already in just TikTok from one community. There are other communities like the PUBG community, the Free Fire community, the Mortal Kombat community. It's like all these are interweaving themselves with each other to create such a big industry. That's why I said it's moving and
at a very fast pace. Yeah. So let's come to finances before I take you back to the Nigerianizing of it, like making it Nigerian, making it's not just what the West is doing, right? Let's come to what does it take? I mean, and if you can give us some step-by-step processes from moving from just being a gamer to real content creation. What do you require for the young people who are following you and watching? What do you require to make it that big as a content creator when it comes to gaming?
Okay, so firstly, I think I'd say three things. You require three things. You do not particularly need a fancy setup, or I did not start up with a fancy setup or a very expensive gear. First of all, you need to understand that as much as you have mentors and you have people you look up to in the gaming scene, originality is a very key factor. You can take inspiration from these people, but then make it your own thing. And I think you pretty much thrive. The gaming community is such a community that's built that allows everyone to fly. There is space enough for everyone to fly. Also, you should have a creative mindset. A creator's mindset, in the sense that there's going to be a lot of positives and a lot of negatives from being a gaming content creator. There are people who drop not so pleasant remarks on your content and everything. And if you let that be your point of concentration, you're going to fall back. You're going to fall back huge. And lastly, if you're going to now talk about finances, the finance aspect, I think there are 4 major ways you can make money as a gamer or in the gaming industry. In the gaming industry, pretty much we're looking at, first of all, esports.
All right,
okay?
Esports.
Okay, so esports, we're looking at esports athletes. They are signed by organizations, okay? They put these people on salary. These people, they play different competitions on a professional level, and then they are paid for that. And there are also huge prize pools, very huge prize pools, ranging from thousands to millions of naira here in Nigeria and also outside Nigeria. And then they make money from this. Also, we have people who do live streaming. Okay, so on apps like TikTok and YouTube, Twitch is not very common in Nigeria, but Twitch also, you can, if you're able, let's say you're able to average 40,000 viewers per day, you're most likely to have at least $15 to $20 to $25 per day. That's like what 20,000 naira every day. That's a reasonable source of income.
To make
yes,
in a day.
In a day. So esports, live stream, then content creating, classic content creating. Okay, so it has the passive and the active aspects to it. Like what I do, classic gaming content creating. You could decide to make videos and post them on YouTube. Okay, YouTube is monetized. Sadly, TikTok isn't monetized in Nigeria yet. But you could decide to make these videos, and then you get money from how much views you get from these gaming videos. On YouTube. Also, there's the passive side of it. You could get, like, there are a lot of gamers right now that have sponsorship deals from different brands and different companies, helping them make promotional content and integrating it with gaming content. It's a very crazy dynamic, if I'm making any sense. Also, in the gaming industry, you could also delve into game developing.
Game development,
okay. Like there are studios in Nigeria already. For instance, there is the Gamer Studios, okay, that's already in launch, and they are looking for people who have the computer skill, technical know-how to develop games, okay. And also, there have been a lot of games, actually. If you look at it, there have been a lot of indigenous games,
all right,
okay, here in Nigeria. But I'd say, like, a lot of these games are not as popular because a lot of the developers, are trying to copy the West. Okay, they're making FPS games that looks like Call of Duty. They're making this kind of 2D fighting games that looks like Mortal Kombat and everything. But if you really look at it, the most popular, off my head, if I'm really to think about the most popular Nigerian-made game, is Aki and Popo Epic Run. And why? It's because it has this local theme to it.
The vibe.
Exactly. It's something a Nigerian person can really relate to. And that's why it's been on Softonic, it has a rating of 9 out of 10.
Wow.
From Nigeria.
That's huge.
From Nigeria.
That's huge.
And Google Play is rating of 4.5/5 from Nigeria. Okay, we have another popular game like Mosquito Smash, Okada Rider. So, like, these games are really coming in. So, like, a year, 2 years ago, and they're really coming in and they're flooding the gaming market, especially in Africa. So, yeah, pretty much. I think that those are the 4 ways you could pretty much make money from gaming, if I'm not being mistaken.
I think that's interesting. We would have to delve into the Nigerian side a little more. Just in 1 minute, just before we take a break now. We're going to be looking at the negative aspect of things per se. Many parents are afraid, addiction to gaming, how some kids would practically drop out of school just to game. What would be the balance for you?
So this is a very tricky one because personally, I came from a household that is pretty much strict on education. Okay, my mom did not spare any expense on my education. For instance, I got into school when I was like 15 years old and I have 2 degrees now. That's the kind of mother I have. But then imagine the kind of courage you'd have to summon to tell your mom that, okay, mom, yes, I studied accounting and I studied media and communication, but I want to be a gamer, especially in Nigeria, in Africa. So first of all, we had a very stern lecture, and the fact that she actually knows the kind of son she has, and then she believed very much that, okay, he is able to, like, balance things. Okay, I've always lived by timetables all my life. Okay, I'm not saying everyone should, but that's the way I do my thing. And everything. Discipline. Okay, it all boils down to discipline. And for a fact, if you're going to be a Nigerian youth looking for a future in gaming, you need to understand that there are certain prerequisites. Okay, if you're going to be big, first of all, education. It's a lot of people are now saying that it's supposed to be an underlooked phenomenon, like education. You don't really need to be. You actually do. There are a lot of, for instance, a lot of companies I've worked with that before they even want to hear what I have to offer as a creative gaming content creator, like,
what did you study?
What did you study? Okay, like proof that you're educated, proof that you know what you're actually doing. That's one. And then as regards addiction pretty much it all boils down to how disciplined you are as a human being. Okay, usually there are things you could put in place to actually discipline and curb the addiction of gaming.
All right, I'm going to hold you there because we're going to come back and you tell us how to really break that chain of addiction and the break. All right, we'll be taking a short break now, and when we return, we'll be looking at the more opportunities in gaming and how to really, like we said, break that addiction when it comes to gaming and other fears that people have about gaming, not just in Nigeria but around the world. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Channels Beam coming to you live from our studio in Abuja. Kamanda is my guest, and we're still looking at gaming, and the possibilities of this evolving landscape in gaming and how it can open up opportunities for Nigerian youths. Kamanda, again, let's come back to you. Basically, we're talking about that thing about addiction and gaming. You were talking about discipline. How does it work? How does it save the average youth who want to get into gaming right now?
Okay, so talking about discipline, yeah, it's like there's a saying, charity begins at home. So if you're the kind of person that you decide that it's not easy, you wake up in the morning, you make your bed, okay, you do your chores, you do all you're supposed to do, time management, you're able to understand the concept of time management. You understand that pursuing a career in gaming can make you as opposed to marry you. But now, talking about it marrying you, there are a lot of students that I know especially when I used to be in school and everything, because I started getting popular when I was still in school.
As a student, yeah.
So a lot of these gamers, they were like, I want to do this and everything. And then they would forsake their academics. And they keep on playing and trying to beat leaderboards and make these into videos. And at the end of the day, it actually did affect their academics, and then it affected their chances of really being a very potent gaming content creator. So looking at how to beat said addiction, you could set something as trivial as setting a timer on your phone or on your consoles. Consoles have time management features. So setting a timer on your console, and it automatically locks the game. Okay, there's also a software from NVIDIA that I think it shuts down your PC entirely. So it's kind of like a jailbreak kind of feature that it does not allow you to access the computer for that given period. So like all this can be put into place if you're not really strong, because it all boils down to discipline, like I said. It all boils down to discipline.
All right, let's go. So looking at what you talked about, Nigerian games and, the gaming being something that is evolving at a very fast pace, what do you think the future looks like when it comes to gaming in Nigeria with the advent of AI and all those things that are coming in right now?
Well, looking at AI is a very interesting topic. First of all, I feel like the question should be if AI is a part of gaming, because already it's a part of gaming. But what should we be worried about as regards the advancements of AI? Because, okay, for instance, we look at AI classically being a part of gaming. Look at games like No Man's Sky, okay, where artificial intelligence, it kind of creates new planets for the users to explore endlessly. So it's pretty much an open world, endless game. The stages are not handmade by the developers. It's by AI. Okay, and that's really powerful use of AI. Or games like Mortal Kombat, where depending on the difficulty you set for the CPU, the computer will study your movesets and your patterns, and it will create game movesets to beat your pattern. So that's already classical use of AI. But then, if you delve into the much more interesting, much more scary aspects of AI, we're seeing it's affecting the workspace. As regards, so, okay, for instance, now NVIDIA released their latest form of AI that allows artificial intelligence to create codes for games. So that is pretty much eliminating the need for
normal people who can code and create games
and everything. So okay, yes, it kind of streamlines the excess workload, and it cuts down production time to more than 15%. But then it's affecting the labor market. Okay, so and also it affects voice actors also. These are negatives. Like it affects voice actors because now through language model AI, you don't really need voice actors. You don't need to employ voice actors to voice certain characters in your video games. Okay, and then we have AIs now that are writing scripts and plots for games. For instance, Ubisoft makes use of ghostwriters. Okay. It's an AI platform, and it writes the story of the character in minutes. This is what you need. You need to like employ an actual story writer to do it for days and weekends on end. But then you have artificial intelligence doing it in minutes. And then you, as a gaming studio, gaming company, you look at isn't it better to, as opposed to just isn't it better to just relieve some of our staff of,
our writers and all that,
and just leave it to unpaid algorithm? So like it's a two-edged sword.
It's a tricky one.
It's a two-edged sword. AI in and this actually is happening in Nigeria. A lot of these games, especially mobile games, they are developed in days, mere days. So yeah, it has its good side for the studios, but bad side because it's creating unemployment.
Yeah, there's a generation that really loves gaming right now, right?
Okay.
And Nigeria is not left out. Africa is not left out, in short. The question will be for that person who's just wanting to start, who wants to get into it, what will be like a step-by-step process? What kind of gaming do you think the person should start off with? Where are we going to? Talk about just processes, basically.
First of all, there are different games for different kinds of people. Okay, there are people who we call them in gaming scene, we call them sweats. People who really like competition. People who would want to really go out there and claim dominance. Okay, we have games for people like that. We have games like Apex Legends. We have games like Call of Duty Mobile, FIFA. That's now FC. We have games like Mortal Kombat. You get, so like these are really strategic. So some of them are FPS, some of them are action, but like it's for competitive people that are competitive by nature. We have games for people that just want to while away time. Games pretty much that should not increase your blood pressure. So we have games like Candy Crush. And ironically, if you look at the numbers, you'd see that Candy Crush is one of the most downloaded games.
But almost everybody plays Candy Crush.
Almost everybody plays Candy Crush.
Almost everybody.
And everything. And then also it's also one of the easiest games to make because also the levels, as you advance, the levels are generated by AI. So Candy Crush kind of like seems endless. You just keep playing and everything. And then there are games for people who are really into strategy. Okay, we have Chess Masters. We have games like Sudoku. So like games, video games, different video games. And also they are also talk about gaming. I believe anyone who plays games on, whether it be on your phone, on a console, even domestic games like Ludo, you are a gamer to me.
I feel you.
So yeah, there are games for the younger generation.
So it just depends on where you're starting from. Just pick your own.
Just pick your own and go on from there. And also it delves into game content creating. I know a girl, okay, that makes content, gaming content off Ludo.
Oh, wow.
And she's doing very well with it.
All right.
So like it's really diverse.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot before you go. Okay. You're going to tell us how much you make a day from gaming. Yeah, you have to tell us how much you make one day from gaming. I know I saw one of the contracts that you said, hey, you're not going to collect this contract. And I'm like, dude.
Okay, pretty much. So it depends. I can't really say, and this is coming from someone that studied accounting.
Be real.
I can't really say because I have different streams of income that revolves around gaming. Okay, so I have sponsorship deals. I have people, a lot of companies that I make videos for, and I receive. Okay, I have this online. I'm kind of like partnering with this company to make like online courses to teach people how to create content, content and everything. Cool. So it's, but if I'm to give an average, I can't really say a day, but I can say for a month. For a month, I look at like 1.7 to 2 a month.
Millionaire.
Yeah, millionaire.
Okay. Friends, that's where we're going to call it a day. Thank you very much for coming, Kamanda. It's been a very beautiful one. We're going to have more of this. Perhaps when we'll have that technical, telling people this is how to do this and this is how to do that, we're going to bring you back again, definitely.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
Most definitely. It's a pleasure.
All right. That's our time on the beam today. Thank you for staying tuned. Don't forget that we can continue this conversation as always on all social media platforms. As usual, we'll be leaving you with our quote. I'm Sunas Nathaniel. Until I come your way again, I thought it wise to stress that life itself sometimes can be a game. There are opportunities that require a certain risk, but to take them, one must be well-trained and understand the rules that guide to the path of success. Keep learning, innovating, if truly you want to be a part of the digital future. See you next time. Bye for now.